Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kakadosh. Double honors to elders and apostles of Great Millstone who are teaching this truth. And shout out to Yakim that's out there on the four corners of the earth proclaiming this truth. Going into the cities, risking your lives to do so. As you might be, if you're especially a one-man camp, you might be mistaken for loitering. But we're not loitering, we're just telling the truth. And we're declaring on the streets as the Most High has commanded us to do so. So with that, I want to say, Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakal Kadash, Barakatham. And so, you know, we've been coming out here every week, sometimes 2 to 3 times a week, proclaiming our nationality. We're not affiliated with all those claiming to be black extremist groups, nor do we say anything black. Because it's saying about color, because there's no such thing as the black race. You know, if you look up the definitions, Ham is the father of the dark races, not the Negroes. That's what the definitions says in the biblical dictionary. So, Ham being the father of that, we're not claiming to be anything related to Ham. Nor are we, and especially we're not claiming to be Black Lives Matter, none of that stuff. You know, and, you know, these other groups, you know, these false teachers, you know, like to always say, though, that, you know, they come against us confusion of faces because, of course, it's screwed up Esau's narrative altogether. So, you know, you got a lot of these black-only Israelite groups, which pretty much is so Esau can push that false narrative, you know, that we're just the black Hebrew Israelites. But, you know, how do they get around Latinos and Native Americans? Well, you got a lot of them black-only Israelite groups saying that they're not a part of the kingdom either. That those are Hamites also. You know, you got so many false prophets among us, you know, coming in the name of Yahushai, but are false teachers. But like everything else, though, it's not going to work. You can't unseal the elect. The elect are being sealed, and there's nothing you can do to come against it. Damn sign fucking fell down. Wind has been crazy here in Babylon. So I'm just going to put this over here. Have to readjust the sign. It's still visible to where people can look. But either way, though, what's happening, though, is that, you know, Esau's really cracking down on the homeless. You know, they're closing off all electrical ports, you know, so you can't even get a cup of coffee, you know, and sit down and look up stuff on the internet unless you have a really good battery. But you can't get a charge, you know. Why? Because of this hatred towards the homeless. And then you also got even more things going on, like piece of shit fucking recycling centers so they can make a buck or two will not accept the cans if you come with a shopping cart. So, you know, that's the so-called white man for you. You know, just making it impossible to survive because pretty much he wants to get everything on the microchips that you can't buy, sell, or trade. So that's what he's doing, is he's locking down everything, you know. You see it all the time, cardless, you know. Chips and cards, you know, because he wants everything on the chips. You know, because that's the ultimate goal, is to chip everyone so he can control everything, because that's how greedy these fucking goddamn Edomites really are, you know. They don't care about their own. And if they hate their own, because the majority of the homeless here are Edomites, if they don't care about their own, how much more do they hate us? No, they really, truly fucking hate us. Because, of course, we're coming back to our power. We're calling on the real names. Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai. You know, so fuck what Nate says, you know, saying that it doesn't matter what the name is. Oh, we're not to know what the name is. That's bullshit. But you see, Esau controls these other groups. And that's why, you know, when you come to Great Millstone, you'll find out that we do have 100% truth, that there's no flaws found within it, you know. Because, of course, we're not going to get mixed up in the doctrines of devils. One had to be true, you know. Because, you know, you can see that all these other groups go off. I'll read out of Nahum chapter 3, verse 5. You know, because that's what's happening now is Esau's being exposed for everything, you know. Everybody knows that he created the terrorists, you know, and that he is the terrorist, and that 9/11 was an inside job. Just like Car Fire was an inside job. You think for 1 second that this little trailer that blew a tire could really set off sparks, setting everything, but there's no fire burns at all on the goddamn thing. Oh man, that whole thing is a fucking hoax. They set the fires, but they did it deliberately. Same thing with Delta and Hearst fire. Oh, man, that's so-called white men doing this shit, man. You know, to make you believe, because why? He was testing it. He was testing how far he could shut down the cities and create a problem. They never want a good crisis to go out of the way. So it's a manufactured event. Look at the map. Do the math yourself. If they could pull off 9/11 and trick everybody into thinking that the planes brought down the World Trade Center, and then you can't explain the building number 7 coming down out of nowhere, but there was no planes that hit it, how much more would they do to do the car fire and the other wildfires? No, man. Esau's so-called white man's doing this shit. And he's doing it on purpose to lock down them cities. Why? Because he wants to get the prophets off the streets, ultimately, but he wants to test everything. How, you know, fast can you lock down a city? Well, it's pretty damn quick, isn't it? Behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will show the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame. And that's what's happening now. Everybody knows that America is the one that's controlling ISIS, you know, and controlling all the terrorists in the world. And I will cast abominable filth upon thee, and make thee vile, and will set thee as a gazing stock. And it shall come to pass that all that they will see will flee from far from thee, and say, Nineveh is laid waste, which, you know, modern day Nineveh is talking about America. Who will bemoan her? Whence shall I seek comforters for thee? Art thou better than Populus? No, that was situate among the rivers. You know, who is that nation that sitteth on many waters? It's talking about Babylon the Great. You know, that the waters round about it, whose rampart was the sea, and her wall from the sea. And again, you know, pretty much, you know, as it happened to Nineveh back then, the same thing's going to happen here. You know, because that abominable filth, that abominable branch is talking about Esau, so-called white man. Because he's the one that's in ruling power. Those Rothschilds are Rockefellers. Woe to the land shadowing with wings, this is Isaiah chapter 18, which is beyond the rivers of Ethiopia, that sendeth ambassadors by the sea, even in the vessels of bulrushes upon the waters, saying, Go ye swift messengers to a nation scattered and peeled, to a people terrible from their beginning. Who's that talking about? So-called white men, the Edomites. Hitherto a nation meted and trodden down, whose land the rivers have spoiled. Yeah, this place America has spoiled all the lands, has taken spoils from many. All you inhabitants of the world and dwellers on the earth, see ye when he lifted up an ensign on the mountains. When he bloweth the trumpet, hear ye. That's what we're doing now, coming out on the streets, and we're blowing the trumpet on this place. This kingdom is about to go down. For so the Lord Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai said unto me, I will take my rest, and I will consider in my dwelling place like a clear heat upon herbs, and like a cloud of dew in the heat of harvest. And what's that talking about? When he comes back to judge this place. First by way of them 200 million nuclear missiles, and by way of them chariots, when he shall take us from it. For the harvest, when the bud is perfect, and the sour grape is ripening in the flower, he shall both cut off the sprigs with pruning hooks, and take away and cut down the branches. You fucking Edomites and all you filthy abominations that is in this place, the whore, Babylon the Great, are going to be trodden down and cut asunder. They shall be left together unto the fowls of the mountains, and to the beasts of the earth, and the fowls shall summer upon them, and all the beasts of the earth shall winter upon them. In that time shall the present be brought unto the Lord Yahweh of hosts, of a people scattered and peeled, and from people terrible from their beginning. Talk about you Edomites. Getting hitherto a nation meted out and trodden underfoot, whose land the rivers have swelled, to the place of the name of the Lord of the hosts, the Mount Zion. So that's what we're doing now, you know. Mount Zion, first we've got to be established as a people. Now that's New Jerusalem. New Jerusalem is being established. The house of David is being established now, which is why we're coming out here and we're calling the rest of our people. it's time to get ready. It's time to get out of this place and to be not partakers in it, because this place will be destroyed in 1 hour. In 1 hour, all this will be gone. We've seen how fast the car fire had spread, wiping out a lot of shit. And this was definitely controlled. I don't believe for 1 second that, you know, and what did they try to do? They tried to make it look like it was a letters from God type of thing, you know? Really? That a lot of people are writing letters of forgiveness to this? Man, I wouldn't be with that. And that's just logically thinking, man. You know, my house burned down in this shit, man. You think I'm going to be saying, oh, I forgive you? No, man, fuck you, man. I'd want to kill you. So, of course, I don't believe what the media is telling us, but they can feed the bullshit. I mean, look at how long people have been believing the lie that this guru, that they like to call Caesar Borgia, Jesus Christ, loves everybody. But then if he loved everybody, as they say that he does, then why is this whole place going to be destroyed? Babylon the Great, America. Why is there a second death? Why is there a lake of fire? You see? That doesn't make any sense. And that's what we're confounding, is Christianity. We're exposing it and we're showing you how ridiculous that is. No, there's only one nation he made into his image. That nation is the nation of Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel. The blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, and the confusion that face to be among us. We're the real Israelites, and we're exposing all the lies of the so-called white man. And the first lie he ever told is that he comes in peace. He destroyed our nation. He destroyed our people. He enslaved us. That's what Christopher Columbus did when he came here. And that's what he's still doing now. We just moved from being slave and chains to just being a debt slave. But oh boy, you don't pay your taxes and all that. Yeah, the IRS come take your shit away and they'll fucking lock you up. Look what they tried to do to Willie Nelson. Look what they did to Wesley Snipes. There's another one. Look what they just fucking did to Bill Cosby. You think for 1 second that Bill Cosby fucking raped a bunch of goddamn transsexuals? Really? Fuck no. But that's what they could do. They do this shit on purpose. So you don't want to make any deals with Esau. Any deal's a bad deal. That's how he took down Gad. All the treaties that he makes, he breaks every single fucking one of them. Because he's a piece of shit. He's a fucking liar. And that's what I tell our people. Get away from the lies of Esau. Everything he told you was a lie. You have to unlearn what you've learned. And you have to learn this truth. And if this truth resonates, then you're an Israelite, despite what you might look like. Because we're a scattered nation. But you see, that's just it, though. We got to stop acting like we're a defeated nation. We are now being restored to our power, which is calling upon that power. Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai Ba'Hashem Rakal Kadash. See, we have the real names. And that's what Esau is afraid of. Because we're coming back to our power. And so as we come back to our power, he's being found out. He's being made exposed everywhere. Everything. That's why they can't keep this illusion of the votes and all that anymore. The whole system is coming down. And for that, I want to say, Barakah Yahweh, Barakah Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Rakal Kadash, Barakah Thumb. Hope this has been edifying. Shalom.